So Barcelona are adding Jules Koundé to this defensive line. It's going to be very interesting to see, I think, how this lines up, Sam. There's some kind of conjecture that Koundé or Araujo are going to be playing at right back, which, to be honest, I'm not mad at.
I am. I don't want to see that at all. Can they not just play the centre-backs at centre-back?
Well, they've got
completely out of the question
I think
at this point?
Christensen is going to play.
He might play some of it, but he's not one of their two strongest centre-backs.
Oh, he is. He has put on some. He's put on some muscle.
Not literally. Just generally, he's the third best centre-back in the team. And poor Eric Garcia, where does that leave him? I have no idea, but
Fifth,
ultimately, yeah. Ultimately, I think.
Frankie de Jong's a centre back now too.
No, of course, yeah.
Sixth.
I'm struggling to see exactly what Barca are planning to do, but to be fair, I'll give myself a pass on that one because I don't think Barcelona know what they're going to do either, so we can't be expected to. And the fact that in the week that it maybe looked like maybe Jules Koundé wouldn't go, and they started hearing about alternate targets, they looked at Inigo Martinez at Athletic Club, left-footed, left-sided centre-back, Jules Koundé, hybrid right-back, centre-back, right-footed. These are two very different styles of player, two different profiles of defender. You can't possibly have one as a backup to the other. That's not targeted and concise scouting.
Unless you shift the entire back line over, right?
That is complete and utter randomness.
No, I agree.
So Barca, I don't think really know what their plan is there. They're just trying to stockpile good players. Koundé is an exceptional player. And so is Araujo.
I think he's going to play right back.
And I think if they both play on the halfway line as centre-backs, Barca's vulnerability in transition and vulnerability to the counter-attack is gone.
I agree with you. And I actually also agree that they should be playing centre-back as a partnership, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I think that Xavi is not sold on Serginho Dest, isn't convinced about his ability to play in that back line, especially in terms of big games where they're more on the defensive. I think he's going to play Koundé at right back. And I think he's going to play Araujo next to him, Christensen, and then Jordi Alba. But, I mean, let's come on to this, Dean, because the Alonso and Azpilicueta deals are still just sitting there in the pipeline. What's the latest?
That's the thing to consider, isn't it? Like, they are still trying to get those two players too, and they both basically want to go. So Chelsea are in a situation now, like Tuchel, I don't know if you saw the quote, he's like, I don't know whether to give Azpi what he wants. Like, also, he has literally told you he wants to leave and go and join Barcelona. Like, he has... It's that clear right now that they only want. It's not going to cost like 7 million to sign Azpilicueta. So like, well, I'm just going to presume that happens because everything else, the ridiculous numbers that we've heard, has happened. So to find 7 million, like they'll just sell something else they find around the new camp because they've sold like some rights. They sold, any other rights we can sell? No. What about one of those trophies in that cabinet? Should we sell one of them?
They're doing public five-a-side on the Camp Nou for €350 each. So that doesn't actually take that many games
to get to 7 million.
It doesn't take that many.
It depends how many you can run at once, I suppose.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure they'll get Alonso and Azpilicueta, but
if they're going to get one of them, they should sign Azpilicueta because he covers both sides and he plays in a back four.
Obviously, Azpilicueta harms Chelsea way more than losing Alonso does because, like, Azpilicueta was the captain.
Yeah.
He was the captain, he was the right back, he was the right-sided centre-back, and they're already struggling with all three of those things. So, like, to lose Azpilicueta is just a dagger to Tuchel before the season starts. So they're obviously trying to fight it off. But again, it does add another question mark over Dest. And look, they've talked quite nicely about Dest recently, which makes me think he is staying, which I probably didn't think was the case at the end of the season. I thought he'd probably leave. But if there is Dest and there is Azpilicueta, then that suggests to me that Koundé is playing centre-back.
Well, what, with the other six? Like, there's loads of depth everywhere.
Yeah.
But
they've got a lot of games.
If they do sign, obviously Azpilicueta and Dest can both play left-back as well.
Yeah.
Which, the thing that Barcelona should not do, I think we can all agree, is sign Marcos Alonso. Because one, it doesn't make any sense because he's only ever had good seasons as a left wing-back. And two, they don't need him.
He's actually just he's also probably just not good enough to step into this setup.
They have Ali Balde there, obviously, as a backup left-back, who's done really well in pre-season. He's not quite ready, I don't think, to be a first-team starter every single week, but he needs those minutes to grow into it.
Agreed, and when we've seen him at youth level for Spain, he's been brilliant.
Yeah.
And the last left-back at Barcelona I said that exact same thing about was Juan Miranda, who they sold and shouldn't have done. And
he's been brilliant at Betis.
And they've had a whole host of left-backs.
Cucurella.
Luca Dean. They keep buying left backs to back up Alba, not playing them. Then those left backs get annoyed, and then they sell them, and they end up back in this scenario. So
but also the left backs they get sold do really well wherever they go. Cucurella has been a massive success.
Half of them
has been a success. Dean's been a success.
And half of them are La Masia products. Why don't you just promote the guy and then see if this one works? Because actually, history would tell us that it probably will work. But yeah, I don't understand the Alonso thing. I sort of borderline don't really understand the Azpilicueta pursuit if he's more of a centre back now than ever, which he kind of is. But if you wanted to play him right back, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
I just think we're barreling towards the conclusion here where Frankie de Jong accepts his 50% pay cut, and then they slip him a little note and said, by the way, mate, you're a right back.
He ain't accepting that pay cut. It's absolutely embarrassing that they're offering him a 50% pay cut at a time when they're taking on all these players.
Although they are taking on other players at far reduced wages to what Frankie is on. He is a hangover from the Bartomeu days.
Yeah, that's just not...
I know that's not his problem, but
Yeah.
it kind of is if they can't register any other players.
Yeah, but it's...
So we'll see. We'll see. But this is going to be very interesting to see who comes out on top in this scrap to play as part of Barcelona's defensive line. But if I was a guessing man, my first guess would be that they start the season Alba.
If I was a guessing man,
as opposed to a betting man. I don't want to be promoting anything.
I
on
never
the channel.
guess anything, but if I did, it
would
would
be
be
a guessing man. I would say Alba, Christensen, Araujo, Koundé start the season in that order and across the back four.
Don't like it.
If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe for more from us at Ranks FC.